Hey everybody, I'm back. It's taken a little longer than I'd hoped, but I've been taking care of some family things. But wanted to hop on today and address an issue that I've been hearing going around the grief communities that I'm a part of. And that is the topic of grief and the holidays, whatever winter holiday you may celebrate. And I'm hearing repeatedly, you have to do it for the kids, or I have to do it for the kids, or it's what they would have wanted me to do, or I feel obligated to do it, but I don't really want to. So here's what I want to tell you about that. You don't gotta do anything. If you're not feeling in the mood for the holidays, you don't have to do them. You can take a bye year, skip it. Don't do anything. It doesn't matter if your family feels you need to or your friends are trying to cheer you up. There's no sense of obligation here to anyone but your heart and what you're feeling. Now, I'm going to point out that I am a widow without children, so my situation is different. But if you have children, talk to them. Ask them what they want to do. Here is the reality for all of us, kids or no kids. When the person we love dies, all of our holiday traditional normal dies with them. That normal will never come back, but we have the opportunity to create some new normals for ourselves, and that's gonna look different every year. And if no one else has done it yet, I am giving you permission to be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. Just because other people are over it or just because you feel obligated doesn't mean you have to do it if it's going to cause you more trauma. Hi, we've already been through one of the worst traumas you could ever imagine. Why make it worse? And you don't owe anybody an explanation at all. But I know a lot of us feel like we still have to try. So I have some survival tips for you on how to get through the winter holidays. Tip number 1, give yourself permission to leave after 1 minute. I had a therapist who gave me this advice early on in my grief, and it was one of the best things I could have ever heard, and one of the best gifts I've given myself. I go, which for people that have never lost anyone, I cannot even express to you the mammoth physical challenge it is to get in the shower and get dressed for a holiday event of any kind, large or small, any celebratory event. But give yourself permission to go. If you leave after 1 minute, congratulate yourself. I will high five you right now. Good job. You made it 1 minute. Good for you. Next time, maybe it will be 2. Or next time, maybe you decide, I don't want to go. Tip 2, always have an escape strategy. Your well-meaning family and friends may hold you hostage in what turns out to be a hellacious event full of torture and trauma because they are not ready to leave yet. And they try really hard to cheer you up. Oh, just stay a little while longer. You don't want to go yet, do you? And you end up in another room or in the bathroom bawling your eyes out because you feel trapped because your friends are jerks. But they're only jerks because they have never lost anyone and they don't know what it took for you to get there. So tip 2 is always have the phone number of a taxi or Uber already set up in your phone so that you can escape when you need to. So tip 3, now, I hate ghosting, hate it with a passion. I think it's the rudest, most childish thing out there. And one of the reasons I hate dating, but that's another video. But when it comes to this particular scenario, ghosting is a good idea. As part of your escape strategy, don't tell anyone goodbye until you've already left. They will try to convince you to stay, or they'll do the, oh, well, I guess I could take you home now. No, that's just gonna make you feel worse. Ghost away. Be like Casper, sneak out the back door. Once you're already home or in your Uber or in your taxi, then you can text your friends or family and just say, I wasn't feeling well, I had to leave. Or you don't have to say anything at all, but they may worry. So that's usually my strategy. I've actually gotten to the point where I just say, I'm grieving, gotta go. And my friends and family know what that means. So But you don't owe anyone an explanation for why you choose to decline an invitation or why you choose to leave. So there's that. What tip am I on? I really should plan these a little better or at all. Tip 3, do something completely different. If you're going to try to keep traditions in place, throw in something brand new as well. I know I've had other widow friends who've taken the family and gone on a Christmas trip that they wouldn't normally have gone on, or changed the menu. So like for me this year, I did Thanksgiving nachos and it was awesome. They were so fantastic and so much better than anything else. But do something new, start a new tradition, because again, we're gonna have to find our way going forward. There is no going back. So it's been 4.5 years for me, but this is my first Christmas in 5 years that I actually have a Christmas tree and a little bit of Christmas spirit. The first year, and it sounds so dramatic now when I tell this story, it's almost a little embarrassing, but it's more funny than embarrassing. My first Christmas without Danny, I spent in my brand new house that I hated, alone, alone by my choice. I had beautiful friends that really wanted me to come spend Christmas with them, but I just didn't feel right grieving all over their family holidays. And I honestly wasn't up for it. So I spent the entire Christmas Eve and Christmas on my couch with a bottle of bourbon and every vampire movie I could find. And it was fantastic because I could cry and no one would judge me, or, I could really get into the gore and the violence because it was as far from Christmas cheer as you could get. I grew up in a household that was all about Christmas. My parents were Santa and Mrs. Claus. Literally, my dad was Santa at our school Christmas parties. And my mom decorated our house to the nines. We even had a Christmas tree in the bathroom. And so Christmas for me was always a huge deal. And as an adult, I followed along. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. But my first year without family I couldn't see any point in it. There was no Christmas magic. There was no Christmas love. There was only vampires and bourbon. And I have this theory that the bereaved tend to be attracted to vampire movies or vampire stories because there's something really attractive about the idea that our lost loved ones might still have a chance to be out there and that we could have a relationship with them. FYI, Vampire Diaries, totally a lie, and it didn't happen for me. But that didn't stop me from diving deep into the Vampire Diaries. So that was my first year. And every year since has been different. I spent Christmas in Europe alone. I came back to the States and I spent Christmas with family, which was awkward and miserable and weird, but full of love nonetheless. And this year, thanks to COVID, I'm back in the US having another Christmas, but this time I'm having a Christmas in my house with my first Christmas tree all by myself. But look, I got my Christmas spirit on and I'm ready to do it. See what it turns out. This whole year has been so weird. But anyway, give yourself the gift of not doing anything if that's not what you want to do. So that's all I have for you. Happy holidays. If you are feeling at the breaking point because the holidays are rough any year, but especially in the midst of the pandemic, reach out and call someone. If you're feeling alone or extra sad, call your grief counselor. If you don't have a grief counselor, I strongly recommend that you get one. Call your grief counselor, call your clergy, call a friend or family member who actually knows how to listen and hold space. Not all of them do. We love them anyway, even though they suck at grief support. Call another widow or widower, someone who understands what you might be feeling. And if you don't feel like you have any of those resources, my information is available here on YouTube or on Instagram. Message me. I'll be around and I'll be here by myself, probably bourbon free this year, but you don't have to go it alone. Anyway, I love you guys. Happy holidays. Let me know how it goes for you.